but I'm going to pretend.
Okay, do the honors.
Oh, all right. Here we go. See if I can do it like Chaos. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Thunderdog eSports Top Dog Week number 8. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner for Immortal Fire, we have ByRada.
And spotting in the upper left-hand corner in the blue trunks for GJL Micro Gamers, it is going to be Kelazhur.
I think that I totally nailed the Chaos impression of that beginning. I really tried to get the cadence down.
Yeah, it was pretty darn close, man. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Gamey Ishi-changida? I don't know.
If it makes you feel better, I actually practice often. I listen to your old casts.
You practice my intros?
Yeah. I mean, I listen to them often enough. I mean, casting and the YouTubes and the whatnot. So,
yeah.
you know,
gotta standardize that nonsense.
Yeah, well, I do. It's a good thing. I just, take some time for myself to really get into that and see if I can emulate. And I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to,
nail it.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
The opportunity to nail. Anyways, so yeah, Frost Ladder Edition, kind of an interesting. Gosh, I hope we don't get another one of those. This was the map.
Oh yes, I know. Actually,
this was the map.
Are you talking about the?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Which one?
It was. I don't know. It was just a random clan war. Micro Gamers versus. I think it was KLG.
Yeah.
No, was it KLG? I don't know.
Which one was this?
It was that Terran player. That Terran player from the other team.
And he did what now?
Super hardcore mech, like 3 times in a row.
Oh God. Oh. No.
The pain
Chaos,
and
I had successfully repressed that so far. Like that was below kissing a girl in the middle of the dance floor in 6th grade and being embarrassed about it low. That was 7th grade, but no one's counting.
Yeah, I mean this was the map where it just, oh my God, it was like.
Yeah. I think we had 3 straight games of 50+ minutes, and 2 of them were over at 20 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. It basically boiled down to maxed out 200 Zerg versus Terran, Mech versus Swarm Host, plus Battle Cruiser and Corruptor. Gotta emphasize the Battle Cruiser and the Corruptor because that's kind of what did me in.
Yes.
Seriously,
I feel like it was the old, like in the Irish pubs where you'd have just like 2 drunken Irishmen who play no defense whatsoever in boxing and just continuously punch each other in the face as hard as they can. The last one standing wins.
Yeah,
that's what it was like.
Except for they got to a point where neither of them really wanted to fight because they were both afraid that they were going to lose, even though it was pretty obvious that 3-3 battle cruisers are OP.
Yep.
So
well, it got to a point where the Zerg player was being silly. I don't want to make it sound like that was a game, because for a very long time it was like 40 Corruptors versus literally 40 battle cruisers.
Yeah.
Like no, it doesn't work.
So yeah, pretty standard openings coming out of both players so far. Reaper's coming out. Now I do find it interesting that the Marine is actually curiously scouting around the map looking for that lonely overlord. But Reaper will get in, get a nice little scout off on at least the natural. Now, granted, he's got to be careful. That Reaper just barely getting out of there.
Yeah, but now it stops the regen. All right, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it should be good. So yeah, Reaper got in, got to see pretty much everything that he needed to. I don't think he got a full scout off on the southernmost gas, but other than that, I'd say pretty much got the info he needed. Now, Gas's Zerg is kind of interesting. We don't really, I guess sometimes we'll see it. Usually implies a roach play, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, nothing really out of the ordinary. We actually see something very, very similar to our last game, and Kelazhur is gonna go ahead and Hellion and Banshee and Cloaked Banshee and
or not. Then again, maybe not. Actually,
just like the Spire being saved.
This could be like Hellion drops by the looks of it. I mean, maybe.
That's kind of the only thing that makes sense. I mean, I feel like I assume so. I think maybe, he was scouting around that Marine. Maybe it was so. Oh man,
Nope.
You know something that I don't.
Well, no, Tech Lab just got planted down on the starport, so I guess he is going for Cloak Banshee. Just kind of odd that usually you see the Tech Lab be built on the barracks so that you can do the flip over, and then you build the reactor on the barracks afterwards. So kind of an odd little switch up.
I had like cool analysis because if you notice, like Kelazhur actually went to the south and like scouted out for those overlords as we commented on.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been really, really good analysis, and now is literally useless. So I'm kind of sad.
Yeah, it's okay. You're forgiven. Anyways, Kelazhur he actually sniped the first drone that was trying to build the third base, so denying the third base for a little bit of time. Granted, 7:30 is about normal timing for that to go down. So basically, at this point, ByRada's pretty happy as far as where he is in his build, and I do find it interesting. I think that Overlord got in and scouted the cloak. Yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah, he saw pretty much everything, so that's not going to come as any sort of surprise. And neither one of these players doing anything in particular to disrupt the other's build. I mean, a lot of times you can say things are standard, but at least they, kind of try. Both these players are kind of sitting back, saying, all right, you just do your thing. I'm going to do my thing because I think I'm just better than you.
Yeah, so Kelazhur is actually going to go ahead and push in here. Kind of an interesting unit composition. Hellion, Marine, Banshee, even pulling a couple SCVs. So it does look like he wants to be fairly effective with his Hellbats actually being morphed in, and it does look like a lot of damage is getting out. Ling's trying to get some damage done, but without the Ling speed, it's really not doing a whole lot.
Yeah, it's a pretty even trade, I think, back and forth. Oh, man. Those Hellbats survived with so little health. And, I mean, I don't want to make you angry.
Uh-huh.
When you go into Banshee like this with kind of this Marine Hellion sort of thing, this is very conducive to a really, really good mech switch. It can go either way, but Banshees give you so much more flexibility. So you kind of continue producing them, and they're your mobility, and we'll see. He hasn't really chosen yet, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, at this point it's kind of like I feel like Kelazhur doesn't feel like he's gotten enough damage done, so he's trying to get as much done as possible. I mean, he's really only trading units for units at this point, so it's really, really hard to say whether or not that was truly effective. I mean, he's just been kind of a nuisance at this point.
Yeah, I mean, not getting a whole lot done. Oh, and perfect repositioning of that support crawler just in time. But 2 little tiny drone kills is all he will get. And so, there it is! Aha! 2 factories go down.
Yep.
Mech.
Mech switch it is. So, yeah. Okay, so with the mech switch, he's definitely going to be looking... I don't know. Okay, when you see a mech person go... I don't know. It's like Hellbat... I'm trying to think of the composition type. I kind of feel like it would be like Hellbat, Thor, maybe some tanks.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of mixes up, but I mean, this is one of those things that it's easy for me to say as a caster because I see everything, but seeing those 2 additional Banshees might actually tip him off. I mean, it should be at least in the back of his mind. I know he's getting a Baneling nest, but just seeing that many Banshees is just not very typical. When you see like a bio player, usually it's like 1 or 2, see if you get anything, and then kind of go away. But he's actually now, I think, seen maybe 5 total. I mean, he saw those last 2. Maybe didn't quite see the last one, but I mean, he's got to have some idea here.
Yeah, nice Hellion positioning, getting some nice little free drone kills for more or less no trade whatsoever. Couple more Banshees coming in here, gonna poke in kind of at the natural. At this point, I feel like Kelazhur just really needs to get the appropriate positioning The Hellions really aren't going to do a whole lot against these roaches, but the Banshees are kind of where the big punch is. As long as you can get the appropriate positioning there, you're golden.
Oh no, and decent, nice little position here by ByRada, but he gets the Hellions out. I didn't think he would get any. Oh no, Mutalisks.
Oh
though.
boy.
And
Cloak. Yeah, Cloak was finished, so that will definitely save those Banshees, thankfully. Now, I do find it interesting that there's this many Marines still out. Like, he's still producing Marines.
I think that's literally just to counter the Mutas until he gets enough Thors out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he just doesn't have an answer for him. So I think that's more or less a temporary solution. I don't think it's going to be a long-term strategy for him by any means.
Yeah. So yeah, Kelazhur securing his third. And it does look like ByRada is trying to push out here, maybe get a little bit of intel. Gonna scout that third base with a single roach, which should give him the heads up that, hey, I really need to start kind of applying pressure.
Yeah, he needs to be real careful with his front wall. Oh no, free Raven.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah, that is a nice little pickoff right there. Point defense drones OP.
Yeah. He needs to really be careful with his front wall off so a run by doesn't come by and just devastate him because his army is completely over at his third. I mean, one of those things that the little tiny opening can be really tough for him if he's not careful.
Yeah, Thor's coming in to defend the natural, kind of get rid of those harassing mutas. But yeah. Now, I do find it really interesting. So even with a meching Terran, a lot of times you do see the Terran player take the supply lead. I find that really, really odd.
Just supply heavy units, man.
Yeah, I guess.
They're awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just normally it's like always Zerg. Zerg supply is always like at least 20 to 30 supply ahead of their opponent always. And I feel like mech is the only matchup that you really don't see that. Ooh,
And actually...
Oh my gosh. I was going to laugh.
No. What? You know, if I had just said, like, oh, you should look out for the wall. Oh, no. Yeah, that would have been really bad. But he drove that back pretty effectively. And
Yeah.
Kelazhur actually using these Hellions effectively. He's going to eventually scout this fourth. And, I mean, this is another one of those tough things. So Zerg is expanding away from the meching player just because, you know, you don't want to get mech'd by just them being able to be in close proximity. You want to really pull them around the map. So this is going to be nice for him because he kind of has all three of those expansions to expand to on the right side. And if you can kind of keep an eye on where those mech units are, I think he can do a really nice job.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really nice for him. But again, with a meching player, sometimes it's like, all right, you want to go halvesies on the map? I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, and quite honestly, for the meching player, that's like perfectly acceptable. I mean, you really don't worry as long as you can secure your half of the map. You're golden.
You almost win because mech is so incredibly efficient. I mean, everyone knows you lose mech once, you die, yeah, etc. But I mean,
yeah,
mech is unbelievably efficient with all of the units.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to look at the Roach is coming in, trying to get into a good enough surround. That was like almost super intense.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh crap.
Like both of us, like you pull back even from your microphone a little bit. You're like, hey, these go, man. Okay, nothing happened.
Yeah. Anyways, so but yeah, as you were saying, you know, as the meching player, it's like even though there is that kind of risk reward factor to mech there, that if you like lose your army, that you're kind of in trouble. You've still got that sheer bulk factor that the mech army has. That,
oh, yeah.
You know, even though it's more of a risky play, it's definitely got a higher chance of winning outright.
Yeah, it's always kind of weird for me because like what we're looking at right here is an almost maxed out mech army, and you look at it, they're like, there's like 10 units there, not actually, but you're like, there's so few units. But that's just what mech looks like, and it just always weirds me out. Oh no, and Brood Roaches are gonna ruin some SCV days.
Yeah, I mean, granted, the third base isn't really mining too terribly efficiently. Obviously, he's got to worry about the missile turrets, considering But yeah, this one at this point, ByRada's just trying to get himself into a good enough position to actually like engage, because I mean, with a fourth base planetary up with a whole bunch of missile turrets, obviously mutas aren't going to be flocking in there anytime soon.
Yeah.
And speaking of mutas flocking and getting annihilated.
Yeah. I think he's kind of positioning to the right side of this Xel'Naga watchtower. I think he might be kind of trying to just poke around and make sure that, and perfectly placed Marine is going to spot this roach run by the way, at the top of the map. I think he's just trying to say, okay, I just don't want you to be able to establish and set up on the right side of the map. So if I can keep you in this corner, I can feel way better about it. But right now, I mean, if you secure this kind of center area as a meching player, it's really tough for the Zerg to get around you. Because, I mean, he's got so many missile turrets. I mean, that's what you do as mech. You just don't have to worry about mutas going around. So this can be a little bit troublesome. And it looks like he wants to take out that fourth base.
Yeah, fortunately, ByRada was able to get around, take out some of the key defensive tanks, and it's actually going to be able to potentially do a fair amount of damage. Now, obviously, like you said before, Kelazhur is going to go ahead and take out this fourth base. Granted, it wasn't mining or anything, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but still, looks like ByRada says, okay, I'm done with this game.
Yeah, a little interesting. It might be full-blown, potentially, base trade here. I mean, because Kelazhur's not turning around, and ByRada is not turning around, so this is just keep in mind, this is a really, really bad choice for somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is yet, but it will be.
Because basically it boils down to how quick can they kill each other's base, and at the same time you still have like the floating building factor.
Oh yeah.
Which definitely can be nice, a nice little added bonus. Granted, there are a fair amount of spine crawlers here, so obviously there's a fair amount. Ooh, 3-3 upgrades getting canceled, not good.
Yeah, that kind of hurts going into the later game here, but I mean, Zerg's doing a really nice job, and he certainly is going to tear things down. I'm kind of surprised. Oh, look at these cute little roaches right on top of those siege tanks at kind of that other base, and now finally a base lifts off, but I mean, this is one of those things, because mobility goes to Zerg, but I still think Kelazhur wins most likely in a head-to-head fight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, you know, ByRada's got the supply lead. Granted, he's got to worry about these cloaked banshees, definitely.
8 Ultralisk are about to spawn right in front of the army. There they go.
Okay, we'll have to see whether or not...
take them out. They're right in on the Thors. That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Hydralisks are here too, though, taking out a lot of these Marines. And honestly, if the Hydras can get in here and get some damage done on these tanks, this army might be like more or less neuralized for the most part. I mean, there's 4 more Ultralisks in the back of the base, and you know that potentially is enough to deal with this.
Yeah, like that was kind of like a neutralizing factor. I don't think Kelazhur expected 8 Ultralisks, like all of them, like, oh, sup, bro, and then a whole bunch in the back, and he's got 4 Ultralisks back there, and I think he's gonna rush in with these Zerglings as soon as they're done, use them as just kind of fodder, and then just try to charge forward, take out a Thor in the tanks.
Yeah, granted, we don't have really any, you know, final base, like any bases being built for ByRada. Wow. Barracks being built in back in Kelazhur's main.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think Kelazhur really just needs to engage. Ultralisk trying to get in here, get some damage done. Getting a fair amount done. Thors will go down, and so will the tanks. I think that could potentially secure him the game.
Yeah, I mean, 12 army supply. I mean, he's really got nothing. He's got 2 Banshees, 2 Wings, and a Hellbat. And that can't even stand up to the Roaches. And there it is. GG, well played. So it turns, looks like it was a bad choice for Kelazhur and Microgamer.